But
the untalked about conversation when it comes to cannabis and indigenous culture is they stuck on casino money.
right.
You can ask any nation that's getting casino
Is,
money
are
how
they
they
stuck
feel
on it?
about
They're
cannabis.
good on casino money.
No,
They're
They're
good.
stuck on
they
casino money. If
right.
you are building and you're expanding, do you think the United States isn't getting casino money, cannabis money, tax money, insurance money? They getting all the money.
The blue.
But for some reason, we want to limit ourselves when we have the most fucking access to everything here out of all people. Leah, I just want to get casino money. I don't want to touch cannabis. You have the green light out of everybody here.
Right.
Shit, who said you couldn't put cannabis in your casino? Nobody. Who said you can't have a dispensary in a motherfucking casino?
Press 1, press 1. Press 1, baby.
Peace, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Trust One Baby Podcast, sponsored by Game Face Growing Farms. And we are back on the Shinnecock Reservation today. And I got special guests, two special guests, actually. And another one of their counterparts, he actually introduced me to them. We got Allende in the background. And to the right of me, I have Miss Caprice. And across from me, we have Maya. So,
Green Jones.
please tell the people a little bit about yourself and what it is that y'all are doing. Starting off with Caprice. Oh, and also,
What we're currently doing right now?
yeah, what y'all doing right now?
Currently, we are painting. We are repurposing. I'm repurposing a jacket. It's actually a new one. So, and Green Jones is repurposing some designer shoes. It is a passion of ours, and
She painting Ferragamo, y'all.
well, what am
I
I
love
painting?
the silhouette.
I'm painting.
Man. It's
Who am I painting?
beautiful.
Abercrombie and Fitch, okay?
Yeah.
Brand new. And it's a passion that I discovered a couple years ago through Maya, who's always been painting, and she convinced me that I too could. And I love doing abstract, and I love doing painting on clothing because then I could wear it out. So through this therapeutic art form, we created a company called.
Did you tell the people who you are?
I did. You did. You said I'm Caprice.
No. You gotta tell people who you are.
Oh, I'm Caprice. I'm Caprice Griffin, and I'm from the Shinnecock Indian Nation. And I was born and raised here, and I currently use this space that I grew up in to grow this beautiful plant that you see behind me. Loves to come outside and do artwork.
She come outside in the morning and talk to the plants.
I do. I call them my girls. They be showing off, and they love it.
I'm like, who is she talking to?
I do, and I use a certain voice for them, and I won't use it.
Let's hear the voice.
Most days I come out and I give them some music, whatever I like to listen to. They listen to, which is a whole sort of different music, but usually something that's up tempo or something that's really cool. And I won't not name drop any artist, but it's all right.
She like ratchet music. It's cool. I heard something on the radio talking about showing my moose knuckle. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, you picked that up in Texas?
No, right?
A little baby from Tennessee who said that.
Look,
I just listened to
I have a young adult as a child. You know, my youngest is 20. How old is she now? 26. So I mean, and in all fairness, I am an educator, and I work with high school students. So if you can't be on their level, you're gonna have it very hard to get the respect. You're not gonna get the respect from that.
So, Ms. Green, what about you?
I am Green Jones, and one of the founders of the Flower Girl Grows. And we've just been on this journey to expand ourselves in totality. So a commitment to exploring agriculture, cannabis, indigenous plants, um, and art, education, computer science. So this space, this was our first season of growing. So it's been a journey, so to speak. Like
A fun
definitely
journey.
make some mistakes, find out literally like I feel like the plant will tell you like it's been like what it needs.
Yeah, the colors are changed, the leaves are curl, you'll see dropping, but you have to be receptive, and it's like a relationship. If you're not paying attention to the signs that your spouse is giving you, you're gonna end up breaking up more than likely, and that's usually gonna be the result of the plant dying. It's the same. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's gonna talk to you. It's good if you talk back, you pay attention, give it what it needs, and it will give you what it is you're looking for from it, which is usually good fucking flower.
Right. But I mean it's been
That's why hippies produce the best weed, bro. They be hugging their plants.
yeah.
I've gotten some criticism because I've been told that I'm too rough on the plants, but I'm like, I think that they know
Some people do
my
low
touch.
stress training. Some people do low stress training, but I don't do low stress training.
Well, I
These
look
are
at them as babies, and to be honest with you, I'm not saying I'm throwing babies around, but I don't have time to be all. They're really stronger than what we think, so
Right.
you don't have to be as delicate with
It's
them.
different when you.
No, I mean,
It's different when you got your first baby.
yanking them down.
No. Because look, like I
When you have your first baby and then you have
you
your fourth,
super
like,
gentle,
I
and
mean,
then you like, fuck it, like
yeah,
you can just
after
like,
month
bend
3
this,
and they're
bend
screaming
it.
in the crib, yeah, you get up at 3 in the morning, yeah, you like, you're not telling me you're not aggressive. I'm not saying I'm doing that with the plants, but I mean, I don't feel like I have to be like, oh no.
I mean, I feel
I
like our
move
first
'em.
flower,
I just set them up.
like to see them start to like the embers of like being in bloom was such a giving moment back to me and to you as well.
Yeah, we
Like,
were excited.
I
We were
hope
like,
y'all.
oh my
I
god.
hope y'all have fun trimming. You make sure you enjoy that experience, because you can't call yourself a grower if you don't cut. But like you gotta go from you gotta do. That's what I'm saying. I hope you
Absolutely.
enjoy the trimming. That is, have fun. Shit. I remember one time
Well, I mean,
we had a yield.
I think I'll enjoy the
I mean, I'm just
experience.
enjoying the journey, period.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
I think there will be some
You
enjoyment.
see
in
them
it.
nails? Oh, they gotta go.
Oh, they gotta go.
They gotta
You
go.
see these
They
nails?
gotta go.
I'm prepared.
Just be ready.
They just
And you
constantly
gonna
stay
smell like
dirty.
a pound for days. So make sure you wear some clothes you don't care about. It goes into your clothes. We had cut probably a few pounds from one of our grows in Michigan, and then I went to go teach karate, and I did not change my clothes. I walked through the dojo. I had the whole rec center smelling like and I didn't know. They people walking through like somebody smoking in here, and I'm in here doing karate, just flipping air and shit. And they were like,
Wait, you teach a class?
I used to teach when I was younger. I haven't taught like a year and a half. Yeah, I ain't taught like a year and a half.
Right.
But it's almost mandatory when you're in martial arts for you to teach, because you have to bring the young ones up, and it's part of community. If you got a grandmaster who is willing to part this time in you, and he got all these young students, and he busy, he older, it's your job in order to make sure that
You like, I need to be around Mr. Miyagi.
It was cool.
Just like we feel it's our job
it.
to not only just get this knowledge for ourselves, because we are in the the learning process. Like we're babies. We were just embryos yesterday, so for us to be where we're at, also we from the beginning, it's been our
I feel like you
mission.
learn by doing.
But we've always wanted to say, we don't want to keep this knowledge. We want to educate the nation. We want to make sure that
Other people know how to grow.
Yes, everybody should have, I believe,
and we're entitled to grow. So like that's
whatever they want
that's the
growing
thing.
in their
Even
yard.
just arming somebody with the knowledge of like you are entitled to grow. Specifically indigenous people. Like there should be no reason that
anyone. Most people don't know that they're indigenous. And I mean, it's different where we at. Y'all are fucking spoiled here because y'all know when you go off and we go to Florida, it's different. You're not doing this shit at your house in Florida. I'm not doing this at my house in Florida.
No, you're not.
And regardless of my tribal status. And it's not even like just out
It's like
here.
not trying to
It's
poke the
different.
bear.
Y'all have a level of respect too, and also everybody know each other. You don't have to. Y'all don't got fences around this shit. We're not doing this in Florida because we have to worry about other things. Y'all are a community. Is almost like a compound. Your family. Everybody know.
But I'm
Everybody
speaking
growing.
about like sharing, like, looking at what we're doing here, figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and sharing that to other nations.
Yeah,
and we'll be able to. I think we'll be able
That's
to.
the only the knowledge is the only barrier, like, that's making it so that, like, people in New Mexico, like, they're living below the poverty level when they could grow cannabis, right?
But to put it in retrospect, the reality is you gonna need 6 figures to grow good, or you're going to need to be very lucky and have some resources, and you're going to have to build up, which is going to take time. My first grow went decent. My second grow went better. And that was a few hundred plants. And it's just like the learning curve component, and then also understanding power. That shit, unless you're doing outside, which is the cheapest way, even nutrients, what you giving the plant, that costs. Genetics, where you getting your seeds from, that costs. So just being realistic about it, it's something that everybody can do, but do you actually have the means to do it?
Right.
Shit, everybody can be the president, but can you be the fucking president?
Well,
So what I'm saying, do we have to, collectively? We do.
Yeah, it's just about ensuring that people have the right information and understanding that,
right?
Because
and even if it does,
look at how spoiled you are.
It's doable because we see it.
We gotta understand. We're spoiled people because did you grow this from seed? See, spoiled. That's spoiled shit.
No, this was a rescue.
I hear you.
Yes, let's say that.
Most people can't just rescue plants. That's what I'm saying. Most people can't just come rescue some plants. That's
right,
like,
you're right.
You low-key spoiled. You gotta start up.
You're right.
But it's possible.
You
but
can have that one.
I just another reason why I say it like that, because people also have to understand the benefit and aspects of like being understanding you're indigenous, operating in an indigenous aspect, and how you can leverage, and also everything that you can do for your community, and how your tribe and community can outreach to the rest of the world. This is
right.
Even though it's family, it's also operating as a business, and we have the ability to contract with multiple other businesses, whether they're tribes, governments, local, state businesses. It don't really matter. It's just how do we create something that's conducive for everybody, and I believe that's really the conversation of what Flower Girl is really looking towards. And even with the art
looking
and
at like how can cannabis converge with technology? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different components and other ways to look at the plant beyond its smokable uses. Like, how do we get into
research and development, right? It's like we talked about all the
building our homes,
the hempcrete, and using the fibers for different
now
things.
Because y'all have over fucking 800 acres here. What's stopping the nation from just grabbing a bushel, which is a big bag? It's probably like 2 kilos on a bushel or something like that. Big bag of seeds, hemp seeds, sea of green. Just throw that shit out there, and then you can build a single family home off of 2 acres of hemp.
What's stopping the nation? Lack of education.
Okay, so since we talk about solutions, that's every podcast I do is always solution based. Because we talk about solutions, how do we, with you all knowing your nation, like how I know my nation, how do you implement something right here where, because every nation don't have what you all have
create
here.
The model,
but also your model, your model is going to be unique because it can't even be recreated everywhere because every nation does not hold this amount of land.
You're right.
And
That's,
also, all
but a
of them
lot
are
of
not
nations
federal.
actually hold significantly more, you know, like,
Even
but
more.
it's just, I believe the knowledge, the vision on like, this is, why don't they do it? Like, there's a vastness in a lot of other places, but
The untalked about conversation when it comes to cannabis and indigenous culture is they stuck on casino money.
right.
You can ask any nation that's getting casino money
Are
how
they
they
stuck
feel
on it?
about
They're
cannabis.
good on casino money.
No,
They're
Yeah,
they
they're
good.
just
stuck on
they
casino money. If
right.
you are building and you're expanding, do you think the United States isn't getting casino money, cannabis money, tax money, insurance money? They getting all the money.
The blue.
But for some reason, we want to limit ourselves when we have the most fucking access to everything here out of all people. Leah, I just want to get casino money. I don't want to touch cannabis. You have the green light out of everybody here.
Right.
Shit, who said you couldn't put cannabis in your casino? Nobody. Who said you can't have a dispensary in a motherfucking casino?
Oh, it's already happening. You know, in New Jersey, they'll bring it to your room.
This is what I'm saying. And that New Jersey is my tribal land.
Well, in New Jersey, you can get cannabis from a dispensary and they deliver it to your.
No. I mean literally the dispensary. So you know how we got the Hard Rock down in Florida, the guitar, right?
Right.
When you go in there and they got the storefronts in there, what's stopping our nation from just putting the same fucking smoke shop that's on the edge of the res in one of them? Nothing. They just don't think about it. They have limited scope because
speaking of horror, we do have a Shinnecock that is currently in there with what a
Well,
cigar.
he owns the smoke shops on the floor.
So the
But
smoke
I
shops
don't
are in
know.
there.
But they are not selling cannabis.
No, I
there.
know, but I'm saying to your point that like we do know who that is,
Mhm.
and I don't know if
you
know, it's not an oversight. I think it's actually intentional.
Yeah, it's for sure intentional because that specific nation, I've had conversations with that nation, the Seminole Nation.
So
they have no interest in cannabis because we see how much money they get off the casino.
They just like they're like we're good.
They just built whole new houses. They just built whole new houses for their whole nation. They got money. And so they be like, why invest in this?
That's it, because you know what, the nation is kept. You know, they're getting paid. You know, people are, you know, living life comfortably. You know, the generation of children growing up right now are, you know, living in comfortable situations, more comfortable situations than their parents did. And I know this personally because I've been to that tribe at least across the water before they were making any money. And it's just like this tribe, you know, it's just, you know, low income. Before we, you know, got the cannabis or the smoke shops on the front, nobody's really making no money.
Some of them over here is doing very well because you ride
now.
I'm like,
that was,
did they get
how many years ago?
This house
before, I mean, these houses just cropped up. These houses, are, you know, the majority of these houses just cropped up.
And that's crazy, but they even lets you know like how much money can be made.
Oh, there's definitely, definitely money
and like
being
you
made
said,
here.
these aren't people that's getting. You said most of them are paying cash for these developments.
Yeah, no mortgages.
Anybody,
but
they don't have mortgages.
But I mean, beyond
that's my point. They making a lot of money because
right.
if you cashing out on somebody like a full fucking 3-story home development on multiple acres with the whole interior layout and basements, that shit is that's a 6-figure plus. You looking at anywhere from 100 to 200 depending on. And you in New York, they taxing for labor.
Long Island, Southampton.
Yeah, they're taxing for labor out here, dog.
Specifically,
even just getting the material over here on the edge of fucking nowhere.
And they bank on that, so that's why it costs so much, because it's like, oh, we gotta go out to
and they pay, and these are people who can afford to pay cash on that based on them leveraging cannabis and the indigenous aspect.
Right.
How do you all feel about operating with people as far as like collaborations and joint ventures for your company?
On or off res?
Both.
I'm for it. It's, you know, as long as the agreements could be made.
Gotta be right.
Yeah, so long as we come to a agreement where it's beneficial for everyone, all parties involved.
And we're in
Um,
alignment, most
we
importantly, right?
and then and the mission is met, or
Yeah,
at
but that
least projected.
most people have very self-centered intentions when they deal with nations. And it's like, are they? And you really can't blame them because we live in a capitalist society. We're like, oh yeah, I want to deal with them so I can make this much money.
I mean, ideally, like
But we have the same
it,
fucking
it
mindset,
would be
though.
great to not have to though. Like so far, like we don't have any investors. So,
In all honesty, that's because there is no need for investors. If people
right.
just have to say like, this is what's needed. The fucking government gives money to people. You just gotta show them what you needed for it. It's so crazy. And like,
Right.
even when you learn like the financial cheat codes, leveraging credit, establishing a business, financing, like having a paydex score. If you come to some of these institutions as an indigenous business, they will bend a lot of them financial rules for you because they want to do business with you just as bad as everybody else.
Right.
And it's always about having a personal relationship with your financial institution.
And that's just really just understanding who you are in the room.
Oh, that's what I tell motherfuckers all the time.
You gotta know who you are at the table, right?
Rob got it. He impresses that shit in my brain. He was like, "You are the highest authority in the room. Don't ever let nobody tell you otherwise."
Yeah, like you always said,
right.
I don't work for them.
Like, well, that's
I'm not on their payroll.
I refuse to let some people pay me for service because, like, money doesn't control me, fam, and I can twiddle my motherfucking fingers and have some bread coming in. So I'm never gonna get stressed over that shit, and I'm not ever gonna let somebody feel like it's a level of control.
Because they gave you a few dollars.
Yeah, fuck them dollars, fam. Well, and that's how I feel like that sense of self comes from, a lot of it comes from me understanding who my people are, where I come from, and, like having strong morals. And I really be having to explain that shit to people when they be dealing with like people on the nation. I'm like, you gonna turn them off and this shit ain't gonna go nowhere.
Nowhere.
I'm like, they will say no to you. They don't need you.
And be ignorant about it too.
And the crazy thing, we love to do business with people, but we just understand how much control and leverage we have in the situation, and most people not willing to partner in those type of situations because they feel like if they don't have control, they don't have no say so, and then that's not good enough. But very wealthy people understand 3% here, 3% here, 3% here, 10% here. That shit all adds up 100 plus.
Adds up, right?
So really, you got to get in the business where you can get in the business, and like even with us having to establish conglomerates and multiple business partners, we split equity within ourselves. But one thing I always tell people, the tribe itself is always going to maintain the majority of equity in any relationship for the business safety.
Right. Because do whatever you need to do on the back end somewhere else, but for that contract, it has to state that.
That shit is damn near in the law for it to be a tribal business. They got to be 5149. Yep. Everybody out here know that rule, 5149.
Yep.
Right. Some people are uncomfortable with that.
Then they don't want to do business with us because we're not the ones who set those parameters. The government did. And them being citizens of the government,
and if it's operating with the benefits of being a tribal business, then you gotta understand that part.
But if we like you, we could work something out. It just depends on if we like you. Otherwise, you may not get that 49.
Yeah, I get the impression you don't like a lot of people.
Oh,
highly selective. You don't, right?
No.
People have.
I can tell by different posts. I'm like, ooh, that was rude. A little mean.
I'm not mean. I can be kind, but it's just like in this sugar-coated society, I'm like, people, they need some raw interaction. I don't feel the need to be fake and just sugarcoat how I feel about shit. And it'd be so funny because somebody had said that shit. They was like, you ever seen Indians smiling in pictures? I was like, you fucking right.
Oh, talking about you?
No, just us, period. Just like, have you ever seen Indians smiling in pictures? It's like, so why the fuck you
all of the photo ops.
we don't be cheesing and shit. We don't think shit sweet. We be about business.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't
I'm
seen
thinking
not
about-
You
one
mean like
solid
oh,
photo.
Nope.
No,
Nah, this is
not
like
none.
what?
Not none. Everybody's like, intimidated.
Real life.
You're like warrior life.
Like RBF.
Like I will rip your head off. You stopped me to ask me a question, like, and then you want me to smile for no. I'm not
So when
doing it.
people be like, "Why are you like that?" I be like, "It's just who I am." This thing, and then we don't like we kick it with each other, but and then I got military parents. I just much rather be straightforward in a society where people will try and question me because of my age and my fucking skin tone. I'm not about to be soft with people.
Right.
And especially with everything that I have, I really don't have the ability. Being the CEO of this company, I have been in positions in rooms with people who are older than me, and they have tried to chastise me because of either my complexion or my age. So because of the way I've been conditioned in business, that's just how I deal. And also, I've just learned that the majority of people you come in contact with are usually an idiot.
Well,
Like,
I mean, the way you
statistically
feel about
proven.
that, I mean, that's me too. But
No,
I've been thinking
that's
about
not, it's statistics. Their
right.
IQ is usually like around 99, 109 average. By definition, that's dumb.
Right.
So I'm not saying it. The United States government statistics is saying it. I'm just acknowledging that.
Well, with
they're
that
right.
sentiment, I've been giving some thought to a few
You
things.
like no
and
contest with that
I just
idea.
haven't said it out loud, but I think I thought about it a lot last night because of the, where I was at. And because I was, it was minus um estrogen. Like it was just me. And I felt like, oh shit, I finally got this. I'm like, wow, this is really a male dominated industry.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know
I got that
no.
epiphany. I'm like, oh,
I don't know
wow.
no real. It's probably like a handful of females that I came in contact with that are actually cultivators, company owners, and like it may be advocates. But the crazy thing, because we know women to be the ones who take care of the flowers and to be the nurturers and the ones who tapped into the earth, even though men farm as well. So for us not to see a lot of women in the industry is really nuts.
And then they go
It's
into the shop
actually, like,
last
out of
night and it
balance.
smelled
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
flowers. And then they go in the shop
all-
last night and it smelled like, I'm like, smells like a bunch of women working here. Nothing but men.
Where?
In the smoke shop.
Oh.
Oh, you
It
talking
was
about the
beautiful.
candle?
I was like, oh, this is so pretty. But yeah, when I went into the bathroom, I was like, this is a male dominant. I mean, I knew it, but it was like this part is when you're reminded that this is a male
Does that
dominated
Right. And
industry.
but it's like
what industry
Does
is
it
really
intimidate
on
me?
right now though?
exactly every industry is. So it's just like the awareness.
But it's more women than men though in the world. That's crazy.
Right.
So
The game is
something
rigged,
something
man.
is
It's
happening.
rigged.
Something
You know what I'm
is
saying?
happening.
So that's why it's like we gotta
But you know how I know
we gotta feel like we taking our spot.
right.
I'm ready.
I'm not asking permission anymore.
And the crazy thing is just the government being an indigenous business, a female business. Technically, they don't classify indigenous as minorities, but you technically can fall into that scope when it comes to government contracting. But just tribal government contracting has its own designation underneath the Super 8. And if you get into that field, that shit don't expire. So imagine having a female dominated company that is government contracting that can be passed down to future generations year after year because your government contracting designation doesn't expire.
Right.
And you can do local contracts. So that's something that actually before the winter hit, I'm gonna make sure that y'all are in place for it.
So like like some of those things like administratively, like I feel like, we need to for each vessel, like because we have a couple of businesses, and perhaps even creating a new one. Like we need to realize like, all right, cannabis curation is different than say selling water. That's a whole different thing. Or working with technology. and working with other people that are, they're subject matter experts, but they're bringing their intelligentsia and they're working with us.
So
And
like I had mentioned, it becomes a foundation, a parent foundation, and you have all these sub entities underneath. And the crazy thing is, your your operations are going to mirror some of the tribes, some of the Shinnecock tribes operations, but they're going to expand past some of their education knowledge and also some of the things that they've already put in parameters. That's why I ask you certain questions, because we know how it is down on Seminole land. They got law enforcement, they got fire department, everything. And it's just when you know that some of these things, because they have either they contracted it out to other law enforcement, or either they've just they don't have the means in order to do it themselves, because haven't even trained the people, or they may not have enough young men around or whatever. And some people just have no interest
no,
in these
no, like
things.
I've interviewed there, like, and I see that they still, like, like they open up their jobs to the public. There's a
Yeah,
native preference, but they have to hire outside.
yeah, because they know how their people are on the nation, and a lot of us don't want to work on res. Some of us don't even like living on res because people want to
And some
see
people
other
don't
things.
need to work. Like they're making, you know, a monthly stipend. Why they don't have to work?
Like
Exactly, and then
why rock the boat?
so if you don't have to work, but we need to ensure that we have security, law enforcement, fire department, medical staffing, all of this stuff, we gotta hire off, because we've made the environment so comfortable
We
here.
don't have those municipalities. I mean, we have, it's not a municipality, but we have medical and dental. We don't have any, we have tribal security,
Hmm.
but their
It's
powers are
Indian Health
limited. We
Services.
have Indian Health Services, but I mean, I think he means as far as like enforcement.
No, no, no. So I'm just it's a comparison of the model itself, because if we can lay out it's probably like 725 recognized nations within the United States, right? If we just list all of them and we see the ones who and how they operate, some are private and they handle some of their own business, like how um we see how the very wealthy ones do, like the Seminoles. They gonna make sure they got their own law enforcement, they gonna have their own fire department, everything. They're controlling every
Everything.
component that happens on their land. Some tribes who have elders and other people, they're more comfortable contracting that stuff out. Now, if you are moving as an independent business on that tribe, when you start growing, you're going to start to outgrow your tribe and what they've done. So
Right.
you may have the requirement to have law enforcement on land because of how much shit you've developed.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then you have to come back and start working with the nation.
Got
Took me a while to get there, but it makes sense.
Got it. I understand what you're saying now.
So, what are you all's goals as far as your immediate goals when it comes to flower grow and cultivation?
You want to answer first?
Um,
Or you want me
our
to?
immediate goal is to take the interior of our space. I don't know if we could take a walkthrough, but like we, we want to do an organic grow in the interior of the house. Um, but and simultaneously, like we're looking for the equity, the liquidity to develop the outdoor space, which is pretty vast.
This is what I was gonna say initially. What's
So
small? I'd like to fix, at least the outside space so that we can properly conduct our coffee cannabis and conversation, or coffee cannabis and conversation and canvas, whatever we want to do at that time. Just like for the backdrop to represent um, the beauty that we find in the plants, the beauty that we find in art, in nature. So I think I want the immediate space to represent that, as well as the inside space, so that I think these are babies. They need to be comfortable. I think if they have a nice environment, that they'll thrive. Like, again, I said was an educator, so working with the kids, if you have a nice bright room for them to come in, then you get a different response for them, right? So these babies out here, they like the sun. I think they like bright color. I think they like the artwork. Look, this one is even going toward it. Loves it.
Art got art, imagery,
And
color have frequency, and plants
right.
move off vibratory frequency. Same thing when you play music for them. Everything has a frequency. So even the stuff you put around your plant will directly affect. So y'all have a very. I know. I know it's different on res because we have our own relationships with our tribal lands and
Mhm.
stuff. So sometimes we feel like there's some negative components, but overall, these are heavily spiritually positively like places and cultivation of any food. Y'all got y'all own fucking grapes here. Y'all got berries, like the
We have
Shinnecock
sassafras. We have
grapes. Like
holly,
I'm like
raspberries,
bad places
blueberry.
can't
Not
produce good
blueberries.
shit like that. You
Strawberry.
feel me?
Right,
So this is a very good place.
right,
Blackberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Go here.
and
Indigenously.
also like
Tiger lilies.
sassafras root grows here abundantly.
Yes.
What is that?
Sassafras. You never had? I'll have to get you some sassafras.
I may be
It's
allergic. You gotta
seeds.
explain first.
Well, it's seeds, and you make a tea out of it.
Okay. I probably have
It's
had it.
like
I
a
just
root.
didn't know.
It's like a root tea, right?
It's a root tea, and it has a very distinct taste to it. It's hard to explain, but it's ooh, you taste, you
It kind of
drinking a
reminds
root.
me of like sorrel a little bit.
Is it
Right.
sweet?
Sorrow, you can add
Yeah.
sweetener to it.
Is-
You can add sweetener to it.
What tea is that? It's a tea. It's not milk thistle. It's something that we use that isn't a very common tea, but I don't know. I'll try it out.
But for some reason, I still haven't like all the way gone that down that rabbit hole. But for some reason, sassafras root is like illegal off res.
The
Like
fuck?
there's something in it
Really?
that
Is
yeah.
that is that the root that they make for ayahuasca? I gotta look it up.
No,
Maybe
no.
it's not. M-
That's not the page.
Maybe it does produce some type of psychedelic
Yeah, I ain't had that.
experience. Alters, I never heard of that. I didn't know. I don't drink it because I'm not really a big tea drinker. I drink tea if I'm sick.
So
That's
y'all
it.
got hippie tea. That's cool.
Well, if we do, I'm gonna try it. I did try it when I was younger. I don't really like tea. I have to, like I said, be sick. No, coffee on the other hand.
Okay, so they say that the roots of the barks of the sassafras tree contain a high concentration of the
Oh, it's probably
chemical named
poisonous.
saffrol. Saffrol was listed as a carcinogen in rats
Well,
by the Food and Drug Administration.
Garlic is poisonous.
So, I think it
But
just
that's from the
depends
bark
on
for the
like
tree. That's
that's
not
the
the root.
right.
That's different. Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
crazy. So
no, it must not. Maybe it's just the bark that's illegal because it is for sale.
yeah,
Oh,
it gotta
okay.
just be the bark from the tree because they say carcinogens. There gotta be some environmental stuff.
This is
Never seen it before. I've never even seen that leaf before.
Let me see.
And I remember plant leaves.
Let me see. Oh, that's right. You're a botanist, right?
I've never seen that plant before.
But I mean, even if we look at this, like it's expensive. Like somebody,
If it's a market
where
for
else
it,
is
you
it
got
grown?
it.
exactly. I'm like, wait a minute, we're learning within this
Where is it?
conversation.
Where else is it grown?
Look, this is what somebody is putting it on Etsy, and that's what they're selling it for.
Wow.
You can just grow some of that in a hole in the. You can
This
literally
is
grow that in a box.
127 for.
That's a decent.
How many? A pound, probably, of roots.
It doesn't look like a lot.
1, 2.
No, that's barely anything.
Looks like maybe 8. Oh, and they're not even that long. There's a ruler right next to it.
Like I wonder how long it takes to grow.
Probably as fast as you.
They're really only like 5 to 6 inches long, and you're getting about.
It's probably like a pound.
Probably about 10. It doesn't say.
So, as being a female indigenous business, if it's any words of encouragement that you can give to anybody who is looking to walk in you all's tracks, like even if they don't know, they may have an inkling that they may have some indigenous ties or they want to partner with people. What advice can you give to somebody who's trying to get in this field?
Do your due diligence and um, seek out. Like Maya and I have been seeking for Green. I'm gonna call you Green. Green and I have been seeking. Like we've been on this journey for a minute now, and we were not afraid to have conversations, whatever circle we were in, whether we were together or not. And we discovered that people are interested in what we're doing, and they would say like, "Oh, I have someone that can do this, that, or the third," and it would be a conversation. Maya will call me and say, "Hey, I have so and so on the phone. We Case in point, met you through her cousin Allende, who is off camera, but very privy as to how things go, especially for us. It's been one phone call or connection or another, and that's just how we've met people. Some relationships have maybe like the plant, like some plants have withered and died. Others have flourished along the way and seem to continue to bloom, but it's just really like get in those circles. Don't be afraid to talk about what your passion is. You don't be surprised that there are other people that either A know someone, B have the same passion as you, or C want to see you successful and assist you as best as they can. So that would be my advice. Get your hands dirty.
Yeah, we need more women who actually grow. I'm not trying to say y'all gotta be in planting flowers, but we need more women in the
Well,
industry.
planting flowers is like therapeutic for me. So,
And I would say find your family. You know what I mean? Like even in terms of going down that ancestral tree. Like a lot of people don't even know they're indigenous. Find your family. Be
oh,
family.
the other
Let's
thing
be
I would
family. Let's
say,
figure it
the other thing I
out.
would say too is if your focus is money, I mean, you can make money, but your your focus needs to be intentional. I personally think it should be beyond, monetary value, monetary access to whatever it is that you want. Like, don't worry about the dollar. Don't it's that'll come, but be passionate about the plant. Again, these are babies. They depend on us just as well as they depend on the sun. They depend on nutrients and water. But if it doesn't rain, we have to water them. They're babies. It's like you can't just leave them unattended. Just within 2 days, I noticed one of these plants. This which one was it? It was showing yellow, and I'm like, damn! Just 2 days ago, there was no yellow on it. So if I were not paying attention, the whole plant, I could lose the whole plant. So just pay attention. Again, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Find your family, put in the work, enjoy it. It's not, there's I'm sure there's gonna be times where, things are gonna be difficult. It's gonna look like, oh my God, we put in all this work and it's not producing what we want. But and this is what we've been told from everyone that's been in the industry. But even with them saying that, it's like just if you're passionate, so you're gonna get your desired results. So be passionate about your purpose, right?
Oh, where can I find you?
Well, like
What's
Green
your
Green
social
mentioned that
medias
we
and
have.
Well, you can
websites?
find us on the Flower Girl on Instagram,
And the flowergirlgrows.org.
and flower is spelled FLOWR. So the flowergirlgrows.org and the Flower Girl on Instagram.
That's how you find us.
Oh, you thank thank you, Green.
Thank you.
No, because she wasn't gonna
I
say
said the
it.
flowergirlgrows.org.
I
I'm not the
appreciate
techie ones.
and one. I
I'm the dirty
appreciate
one.
y'all even the relationship that we've been able to develop in business, and also the hospitality on Riz. Like I said, me having an indigenous family, I grew up on base. So I wasn't always around my family. It was just me and my mom and my sister. So just being able to see how you all came up and the level of acknowledgement and care. Like y'all may be beefed out, but y'all still know at the end of the day, y'all all Shinnecock and y'all family. And
Right.
can't nobody take that from y'all. And that's one thing that I absolutely love. And like I said, New York is my tribal land as well. So I feel like I'd be at the crib when I'm here. I actually
That's
like it
what's up.
here more than I like it in Michigan. And that's crazy because
Wow.
that's where I was born. But this is tribal land has its own feel to it. Hell, and I love Florida, and I'm right up the street from the Reds, but Seminole land don't feel like what it feel like up here to me.
Yeah, it's definitely freedom here. Like if I were to look up freedom as far as, nature and being able to not lock your car at night.
It's
I
the
look
frequency. It's like what
you
you all have
there
established.
is a safety it is a safety here. So that frequency I
You
would
more so
say is that
concerned
you
about
just
the
feel
damn deer than people out here.
absolutely. And the pit bulls. Even though I have 5 of them. Other people's pit bulls.
Like for real, it'll be a deer that may run up on you before you really have to worry about an altercation with somebody for real.
You're right.
I'm like most days y'all live right next door to each other, and outside of passing in the car, some days y'all got so much land y'all not even speaking or seeing each other.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But I do recommend that when we set up this workshop, and I'll make sure that I drop the link, that you all come out to the res and you all come. All right, you all
Thank
come out to
you.
the res.
Thank you.
You all come out to the res and come participate into the workshop and learn how to grow. Also receive some free genetics. You can travel with the clippings and the clones if you're on the plane, and you can also take the seeds. You just can't travel with a dirt pot. So we'll make sure that if you all come, you all have everything that you need. But that's some of the stuff that we're planning on doing in the upcoming months. We just have to decide location wise where we'll be doing it on the res because of the weather if it starts getting cool. But we would love for you all to be able to actually come do some hands-on activity and actually see how to clip, leave with your own clones, and just actually get hands-on education so that we can expand the information
And
and
also
cultivation.
create. We've got some other cannabis curation, some chocolate.
Oh yeah. I'm like, y'all didn't even mention that company at all. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, that's right. That company.
Because we gotta go to the airport.
Well, that's on part 2 to be continued.
No, but go ahead. No, mention it really quickly. Because I for sure
You
want
can
them.
also find us on chocobites.com. So
Thank
that's
you.
CHCO.
CHACOBYTES.com. And it's Choco Bites on Instagram. The current page obviously does not advertise infusion. That's just something that I do when people come on site or place order. That discussion is had then, and then orders are made, set, delivered. So come check me out.
With that being said, I appreciate you all coming onto the podcast. I've been asking y'all for months. I asked y'all to come to Florida and everything, but I guess I had to come up on the res in order to make it happen.
Well, we thank you for surprising us.
Well, once again, this has been a great episode of Trust My Baby. So, peace and love. Until next time.